Hello ladies and undomesticated gentlemen. This is our mulberry tree. As you can see, it's got berries everywhere on it. And that's after we've taken about 7 pounds of mulberries off of it. I don't know a whole lot about mulberry trees, but this particular tree, they don't get much darker than these pink ones you see here. Just a little bit darker, and they're ready to eat on this one. But like I said, we're gonna make some mulberry jam. Stay tuned. Give you the basics on making a jam. The book we use for a lot of our canning information is the Ball Complete Book of Home Preserving. We've used it for recipes from fig jam to mango jam and garlic, pickled garlic, and all kinds of different stuff. But today we're going to be using the old-fashioned jams recipe. It calls for 9 cups of berries and 6 cups of granulated sugar. We actually have more than 9 cups of the berries, so we scaled it up. But that's all. It's a pretty simple recipe. It's just berries and sugar. If you get a KitchenAid or a mixer, it comes in handy to mash all the berries. You can use a potato masher, but this makes it a little bit easier. Get them in there and smush them all up, get them prepared to start heating up. Some of the things you'll need for canning are canning funnel, canning jar lifter, that comes in pretty handy to get the jars in and out of the hot water. You'll need a stock pot or something to heat all your berries and your sugar in, and then a water bath canner. This isn't really a water bath canner, but we're going to use it today like a water bath canner. It doesn't really have to be a water bath canner, it just has to be big enough to fit all your jars in and get the water boiling hot. You want to start mixing it while it's getting warmed up. You want to keep it moving the whole time, because you don't want the, especially with a stock pot like this, you don't want the fruit to scorch on the bottom and give it a bitter taste. As I go, I'm just adding a little bit of sugar at a time, mixing it in thoroughly. Alright, so I've got all the sugar in there now, and I'm just waiting for it to come up to a good simmer. I'm going to keep it moving, that way it doesn't scorch on the bottom. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but I left all the stems and seeds in there. I like kind of a chunky jam, so it doesn't bother me at all. Some people don't like that. They have the time to cut off 5 million little stems and pick out 20 billion little seeds. It's up to you, but ain't nobody got time for that. So anyway, I'm gonna keep moving, let it start to thin out. And I like to add about 1/4 of a cup of lemon juice to bring up the acidity level as a preservative. And for my dead homies. While the berries are simmering down, you want to get your jars in the water bath canner, start sterilizing them, get them up to a boil for a good 10-15 minutes. I put some vinegar in there to keep the jars from getting cloudy. Once it gets to a boil, the seeds will actually float up and go around to the edges, so if you don't want the seeds in there, you can scoop them out. To thicken up, a good way to test it is put some on a plate and let it cool down a little bit, and it shouldn't roll too easily. It should be pretty thick. That's a good way to determine that it's ready to go. And you want to taste it. It should taste like diabetes. Tastes like diabetes is good. But once you take them out of the canner, tip them over and pour the water back out, and just set them on top of a a towel. You want them on a towel so that they don't crack. If you put them straight onto the countertop, it can cause the glass to crack. And you're going to fill them up to about 1/4 of an inch from the top. When you're using the funnel, once it gets just past the funnel, you're right at the 1/4 inch mark. While you're filling your jars, go ahead and put your lids in a little pan with some, or a little pot, whatever you call it. Pot. With a little bit of water to soften up your lids. So now that the lids are softened and I've already filled up all the jars, you want to take a warm rag, wet rag, and wipe each one of the rims of the jar. Make sure there's nothing there. That way it makes a good solid seal. Once you've done that, you're gonna take, this is just a magnet on the end of a stick, and get your lids out of the pot or pan or whatever it is. Me and my wife have a debate on what the difference between a pot and a pan is. Apparently I don't know.
It's a pot.
Alright, so once you get your lids on, you want to put the ring on just barely snug. Just like that. Okay? And then in your canner, you want to have a towel at the bottom of it. So I'm going to go ahead and set that in there. So when you put the towel in there, go ahead and turn the burner off for a minute. Otherwise the bubbles are going to try to push that towel up. But once you get a couple jars in there, it'll settle it down. Get all your jars in there. And then you can turn the burner back on. And then you're going to set it to boil. Alright, so I double checked the recipe, and the recipe actually called for a 10-minute boil. And then to remove the lid at 10 minutes, turn off the burner, let it cool down for about 5 minutes, and then pull them out. If you listen carefully, you'll hear it click. We don't watch those. So that clicking is the cans cooling down, and that's how you know you got a good seal, and it will be preserved. We'll let these sit on the counter overnight, get them to room temperature, and then we'll put a couple in the refrigerator so the kids can start eating them up, and the rest of them will be put up in the pantry. And these will last. I mean, we've had some mango jam that's been in jars for, I don't know, what was it, 3 years already now that we've had it. We're down to the last couple. But that's the good thing about canning, is that when you find fruit like on clearance, or that's just about to go, get kind of ripened up where the grocery store doesn't really want it anymore, it's perfect for canning. I think we bought those mangoes. We probably bought, I don't know, like 20 pounds of mangoes for like 17 cents a pound. So we stocked up and we made plenty of jam with that stuff. But, that's the way to do it. If you find fruit on sale, put it in jars. Make a jam out of it. Preserve it. It's always something good to have in your cabinets. Alright, well, thanks for watching.